This is a solar system that I had plugged into the garage. Of course, I put it on this 3/4 inch piece of plywood because I wanted to wait until I was able to put it on the wall. So I have a 20 amp charge controller here, have a 12 volt block here, and I have a 1500 pure sine wave inverter here, and I have I have a 175 amp fuse here. And here I have 5 40 amp hour valence batteries. And these batteries came from hospital machinery. So I was able to buy those used online, and I hear these are really great batteries, and I've had no problems with them since I've gotten them. And I buy them probably one at a time because it's not a major thing that I use the power that I generate from them for anything major. Also here I have the wires that connect everything together, all the batteries together, and I have a kilowatt meter here. It's not the voltage meter. It's not the kilowatt meter. It's one that's a little bit cheaper, and I'm just testing that one out to make sure that it's good, and thus far it's been okay because it was a lot cheaper than the actual kilowatt meter. Over here is where everything used to be. Right here there was a shelf there that I would put all kinds of goodies on, and apparently it was a little bit too much goodies. Just as you can see up here, the refrigerator has started to get a lot of goodies on top of it. Any kind of surface you could put anything on in a garage usually gets filled. So I wanted to add a larger refrigerator because the refrigerator I was using before was just a little small dorm refrigerator, and it didn't use that much power. So I wanted to see what it takes to actually run a full-size refrigerator, and that is this refrigerator here. So what's going to happen is all of my components are going to go on the wall here. These wires here are my solar incoming. So this will get plugged into the charge controller and get routed down to the 1500 pure sine wave inverter, and we'll go from there. So I eventually want to power this whole garage off of solar. I have two 100 watts of solar panels on the roof. I probably will add a couple more, but the charge controller that I have is a 20 amp hour, and you can't go more than 2 or 3 solar panels with that particular MPPT charge controller. So I will more than likely get one more charge controller and plug it all in and make it work together, but that will be on a later date. So I'll start putting this stuff together. Most of this I'm just going to put together as I go and film it as I go, not in one continuous video, because I don't know that I have everything ready to go just yet. So stay tuned. Okay, so my solar system is put back together again. I've changed it. What you saw before was the solar system on a piece of 3/4 inch plywood. I did that because I wasn't sure where I was going to put it, and I wasn't ready to put it any place other than that at that time. So here I have my Rich Solar 20 amp charge controller, and it is fully charged right now. So it is on boost, so it's not bringing in any more power. Actually, it is. It's going between boost and charging. So we are pretty much full powered here. It'll normally charge and stop at 14.4 volts. So right now it's at 13.2. I have this refrigerator here that I put in a few days ago when I got the system installed. Now this is a full-size refrigerator, and I'm able to run it 24/7 from the solar panels. It's only been plugged in a few days, so I haven't had any disruptions in power. So now I showed you charge controller. So now I have my positive and my negative bus bars. I have my 12 volt power block here. I have my 15 watt pure sine wave inverter. This is the input for the solar, the 200 watt panels coming from the roof. I have a Bluetooth dongle here. I have a watt meter here, and that's plugged into the inverter. And the brains of the system here is 5 40 amp hour balanced batteries, and these are used. I've been able to find these at pretty decent prices, so together these give me a 200 amp hour battery, and that is more than enough to run my refrigerator. I don't have anything else connected to it just yet. I'm going to do a little bit more testing to make sure that it doesn't die overnight before I plug anything else into it. So this is the way that I've always wanted it, and this is more than likely the way that I'm going to set up my system in my small house in Alabama that I'm doing, because that house is going to run totally off of solar right now. There may be a possibility of getting some electricity in there at some point, but right now it's going to be totally solar. Oh, I forgot to mention my shutoff switch here. And what this does, it shuts off all the power that's coming from the battery or going to the battery. There is one more switch I'm going to plug in, and it's going to be a disconnect from the actually the solar coming into the charge controller, so that I can control that. And on these batteries here, I forgot to mention, I have a 175 watt fuse here, so that if there's any kind of power overload or anything like that, it'll stop anything from going into the inverter, so that I don't do anything to the system. Trying to do this thing right. I'm, learning slowly but surely, but as I said, this is the way that I've always wanted it, to make it look a little bit more organized, and also makes it look like I know a little bit more about what I'm doing, which is cool. So that's what we have. So I just wanted to give you a little update on this system that is now complete, because the first part of the video I showed you what it looked like when I had it just sitting on the floor back here behind the refrigerator. So this whole thing is new, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough battery power to run the solar panel, because in case of an emergency or power outage, we won't be left in the dark. Now, we do have solar on the roof of our house, but there's no battery backup. So if our electricity goes out, I'm sure everything is going to go out even though we have solar. So this is my little fail-safe here for making sure that there's power and enough electricity to, if the power outage is a little bit longer, then this system should be able to handle that, providing we have some sunlight. And a lot of times it's pretty sunny here in Southern California, so we should be good. So that's it for this video, and we will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.